Okay, we are indirect. Let me start. Also recording in the other side. Okay, Phil.
Okay,
Yes.
right. Hello, and a very, very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, around the world. For everybody who works in Success World One, a very good morning to you. And to all you people out there who are watching and listening, whether this you're seeing this live or you're seeing this recorded. Just to introduce myself and what I am, what I do. My name is Phil Griggs. I'm currently based in Spain. I'm a tutor from England, trainer, hypnotherapist and psychotherapist, and primarily worked with people who have been very marginalized by life. For example, those who have been homeless, those who have come out of prison perhaps, and people who have found it very difficult to get their lives going again. And sometimes even when we take time out, for example, from a job to go and do something else, employers don't like it if they see big gaps in like your CV or some things like this. Or even if we're coming from a place where we are still trying to get a rung on the ladder. How do we get there? How do we do this? And what tools do we need? And some of the tools we need, we think it's always external, that something out there is always what we're going to use. It's got to be something which is from someone else. Possibly, but a lot of it here is what we've got within ourselves, in our hearts, in our minds, in our guts, in our hands. And if we put all those to practice there, sometimes we may find amazing things. The great thing as well here is the evolution of the internet. And being able to do shows like this, although I'm doing this, there's nothing that stops you guys out there doing something yourself, something that you truly believe in. And if you believe in it, people are always going to feel the energy from you. They're always going to be interested. And it's using that ability to communicate to people. And so some of the tools today, which I'm going to show you, is how to help you achieve the goals you want to via different strategies. So looking at this today, one of the things we're going to look at is actually color therapy. And I love this. I truly love it because I'm a very visual person. I love color. I love scenery. I love colorful houses, colorful pictures, and colorful people, not just by the all about, what it can offer, and how I can just help you. And maybe there's something there we can help you with. But let's have a little look. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to share the screen now and introduce this to you. And let's see what happens here. So here we go. Success World One, the importance of mindset when learning. And you see the colors there. This is all about color therapy. And let's just press the play button. Off we go. Okay. As it says down the bottom, now works in neuro hypnotherapy, neuro coach, motivator, and trainer. And this is all part of a Success World One. And all about me, I've done this training here because I wanted to go and do it. I was excited. I felt a drawing to go and do this. And there's enough out there now that on the internet where if we could do a lot of these courses, and they're not as expensive as what we'd like to think what they were years ago. The internet has made things a lot easier, and learning is becoming a lot easier. So I've one of the things I do here, and one of the ways I work and I love, is NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. And the way we think and the way we talk really affects our lives. And if we think positive and talk positive, we attract positive. And it's the same with color. If we think of positive color, we're going to lift our spirits. We're going to lift ourselves in some way. We're going to find ourselves feeling really good about ourselves. I've often worked with people, for instance, they've got to go and do a talk or a conversation in front of lots of people. And the fear they have before they go and do the presentation is like, all these people looking at me. And there's various tools we could use to try to overcome this, but color is one of them. So just talking about color, let's have a little look at this. Is there a favorite color you have? We all seem to like different colors. I know some people, they like blues, they like purples, they like reds, whatever color it is. And some people, they don't have one, they just like all of them. Fine. But let me ask you this. If there's a color that excites you or makes you feel really good about yourself, what color would you instantly choose? I mean, instantly, without even thinking about it. Is there a color that makes you feel, oh, if that color was inside me, I would feel energized, I'd feel positive, I'd feel amazing? Is there a color that brings calmness to you, that just says if you were feeling that color, if you were breathing in that color, you would just feel calm? So we can use color perhaps for various different states. If we want to focus for something, perhaps you've got an exam in front of us, or you've got to do a test, or there's some kind of learning you've got to do. Is there a color that you could think of which just focuses your mind to absorb information? And some of us sometimes get quite intrigued about, well, how does color do this? Why do we suddenly change our states of thinking through color? Well, the interesting part about this and why we do this is often because our minds are very black and white, and that's the front part of our mind. It's called the frontal cortex. And a lot of people think this is the logical mind. And when we think of logic, we just think of the things we see, the things we know, and the things we do. And then there's the other part of our mind, which is the subconscious. And that's a completely different system altogether. But one thing the subconscious does is it looks after you. It loves you, and it wants to keep you in a very good place. For example, just like I'm doing, every now and then I'm blinking. Yes, I just noticed you did just then too. Yes, you just did it again now. Yes, caught you out there, didn't I? Caught you doing it again without even thinking about it. And one of the reasons why we do this is because the subconscious looks after us. It keeps our body at the right temperature. It keeps our eyes blinking to keep the moisture in our eyes. It keeps us breathing. It keeps our heartbeat at the rate that it is. It keeps everything there absolutely fine. Now, the other part here about this, which is really, really cool, really interesting, is it's also the imagination. Because from imagination comes dreams, or dreams turn into imagination, and then from imagination, we start a plan, we start something. And for example, here, there's always, if you look at the roads we have, maybe have them in your country, maybe you see them abroad, but it's as you drive along the roads, in the middle are the dashed white lines. But sometimes in those, you'll see what we call cat's eyes, which are the two little white eyes that when we're driving along, reflect in our headlights, and we can see the middle of the road, so we know not to cross over onto it. And that was just created from an idea. Just like glasses are, like I'm wearing, they're created from ideas, just like clothes were. And also, from ideas come things come into reality, and then they're used. We never really create something out of logic. It could seem logical. We think, oh, I've got an idea to make my life easier. I'm going to get a different chair because I feel more comfortable in it. Well, that's the subconscious looking after you, saying, I'm not comfortable. I need comfort in order to work or do better things. So this is what our mind is capable of doing. This is just a part of, but in this part of color therapy for goal setting, let's have a little look a bit further about what we're going to do. Okay, so follow me as you go through this. If any of you have got any questions, you want to talk, ask things, or do things, just let me know. It'll be a pleasure to interact with you. Okay, so I used to work in the prison service, and when I went into the prison service, people said, a person like you, what are you doing there? You're doing there because you're a nice guy. And I thought, well, that's very nice of you. But actually, this is something that was probably one of the best things I ever did in my life, was to go and work in a prison service. Because one of the things I recognized was, if you talk politely, respectfully to people, then they would talk respectfully back. And perhaps those people have never been spoken to respectfully before. So a lot of the prisoners there, I call them Mr. Jones or Mr. Smith or Mr. Green, Mr. whoever. And they tend to respect that. And actually, I was able to, a lot of people, a lot of prisoners was not just respect me, they would open up in conversation. And often we find people who are in prison, although they may have done things that have got them there, some of them have been a victim of something. And how I could actually work with those people to encourage and motivate them to get back into a better frame of mind, so that when they are released from prison, they're going to go out there and say, although I was in jail, I learned things, or maybe I could do something to inspire myself. So people can change for the better, as we're reading down here. I experienced this phenomenon when I delivered courses there, which I did. It was called Enhanced Thinking Skills. It's going to be able to think about what they've, not just what they've done, it's really about what their mindset can do to change, to become more positive. And we can embrace change. People are becoming colorful with new ideas. The moment we come up with a new idea, it's often in enriched color. When you see that idea, it's never black and white. It's funny when I say that to you, because you're probably going, oh my goodness, yes, I see what you mean. When you're not really focused on anything, you don't really want anything to happen, or you're losing interest in people, often that can go to grayscale or black and white or disfocused. There's some things that you are interested in immediately become colorful. And when we focus on a goal or strategies to get there, we often need a color, because color helps us incredibly. Do the up talk versus down talk. We become too industrialized with learning. Creativity opens our minds to amazing possibilities. So when we talk about up talk, it's not just about, I can do this. Hey, I'm brilliant and I'm going to be able to do it. It's also looking for the positives around you, which is going to support what your goal is. Maybe it's the people around you who say, here, what a really good idea. Wow, your idea to go and change your job, to go and change your life is brilliant. And to surround yourself with people who enrich you, enrich that colorful energy about you. We're often surrounded, aren't we, by people who saying, why are you doing that for? But you're changing. We don't like change. We don't like you to go and be something that's very different. Actually, those are people there who are enforcing their opinion on you. And often when we use up talk, it's about talking to ourselves and not just saying here, hey, it's this big Mars-like energetic Ben-Hur thing, hurtling around with horses on a stage thing, and we're whizzing around a stadium, whipping everything and trying to create all havoc. It's sometimes just a gentle process of just feeling, yes, I'm feeling positive today. And even if I've come across negativity, I'm still going to, yes, you'll probably go through me and out the other side, because it won't stick with me. Isn't it a nice process sometimes to think that even though sometimes people can be negative, sometimes they're even thinking about it, just knowing in yourself, yes, there's a negative response from someone, whether they mean it or not, it can just pass through us and out the other side. Doesn't stay with us. And that's sometimes how we learn in life. And sometimes the big awakening is that a lot of what you learned in your life is not from you. It's the stuff we learn from other people. So the question there lies is what you learn from other people benefiting you? If you had very positive family, parents, friends around you, then you're probably enriched with the positive, colorful energy of support and ideas. If you had challenging people around you, perhaps family, perhaps no family, perhaps it was an environment that always puts you down. Does that mean you have to be put down? Does that mean you're them? I bet it doesn't. I bet it doesn't. I bet if I was to speak to you now and just say to you, hey, you look good. You look good. You look really well. And despite what you've been through, hey, I can see that glint in your eye that says you're going to do something one day. No matter how difficult life has been, sometimes when we talk to each other in a positive sense, it's very quick that we can cross our face and all of a sudden we're seeing a positive energy or a positive drive. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Engage with humor. Humor is always a colorful thing, isn't it? We learn more when we are happy, don't we just? Happiness creates optimism to learning. The moment we turn to happiness and the moment we do this, our whole energy lifts and people notice it, whether it's on your facial expression or not. Now, isn't that interesting? Because as soon as people come close to you, they have that sense of air about you. You have that sense of air about you. This is sometimes people think, hey, you're a positive person. Yes, I am positive. I'm feeling very positive today. And I'm focusing on positivity. Of course, there's days which are challenging. Of course there are. But with a positive mindset and staying positive, we often find a solution to this. And just to know that even if you have difficult days, just let that day go through you and out the other side, because these are just clouds. Create new positive habits and approaches to learning through color or sound, for example. When we think about color and we think about sound, maybe there's music you like, maybe that makes you feel upbeat. And is there a color that associates with this? It's interesting actually, because one thing you notice inside prisons is the prisoners actually wanted to paint their cells a color that they liked. So blues, or some of them liked orange. That was crazy, because how can you go to sleep with orange walls? It's just crazy, but they liked that. And I often found that quite funny. And I would engage with them and say to them how their vibey color relates to their nature. And they liked that. So they really liked it. Say, hey, blue, you got blue color. What does blue mean to you? I said, oh, it just reminds me of home or things like this. I get that peaceful feeling with you. So really, you're quite a peaceful character. And yes, Gov, I am. I just had a few crazy moments. Well, blue is going to help you, isn't it? That will remind you and help your mind get back to when you do leave here, that you'll feel calm. And people liked it. So sometimes when we see color around us, it's good. And say music relates to a color, how that energizes us in a beautiful way. And I thoroughly enjoy working in these environments. And I felt that if we could talk to people, it's about communication. If we can find a way to communicate to people, then we've got a relationship on all levels, whether it's through work, through business, through play, through creation, even people you like socially. And often when I was also working as a negotiator, what we call a hostage negotiator, which is where a prisoner would take someone hostage, and I would be there on the door to try and talk them down, as we call it. And I'd always enjoy finding the energy with them that relates. I could find what we call that congruence. It's a lovely word where we find the balance between ourselves. And often we find people who take themselves hostage. Don't we do that at times? Don't we do that? We take ourselves hostage. And sometimes that hostage part of us is where we sometimes find that we're stuck in our own prison because we fear we can't do something or can't change. Yes, maybe there's something there that those bars you see on a prison cell are also in our minds. And just talking to people to find what it is they need to find that release. So although I used to work in prison, I just find a lot of people take themselves prisoner in a cognitive way. So the contents of this is, we won't talk so much about the hypnosis side, but we're definitely going to talk about the 4 levels of consciousness, creative positive mindset to learning and goal setting, how colors impact our experience of learning and understanding, and brainwave states and the power of suggestion. Now, I know I've got about 45 minutes to go and do this. So if I don't finish this, then I'm going to repeat this on Thursday and just carry on talking about it, because I love this subject. And if you like it too, then great. If you've never heard of it before, then join me. We can always have an enjoyable time. Now, let me ask you guys out there. Star Lady, if you're audible there, what's your favorite color? Or in fact, if I open this to anybody there, would anybody like to tell me their favorite color?
Yes, Dr. Phil, I like the blue, but very often I don't know why I am attracted by the black. I find that the black, when I'm wearing the black or someone is wearing the black is very elegant. I like also the white. So can I ask you a question, please?
You certainly can, yes.
Yes. So do you think that the color that can, just a color that we like can impact our humor, our mind? And
yes.
So
again, yes.
How can we recognize the positive colors? Because, you know, can we say that the black is a negative color, for example?
No, not at all. People always think here because it's black. Black goes back to, in history, it goes back right back in hundreds of thousands of years when we talk about light and dark. Light and dark, light was always the positive, dark was considered as being the negative or the evil. the bad. And actually, when you go into these things, it is quite interesting. But actually, they were just, in many sense, they were just folk stories. But Hollywood took this to the hilt. They took this to the top. And Hollywood went into the movies. And of course, the vampire always comes out at night, which is black. Most of the crimes you see on television through films are done at night, black. Most of the creepy moments are done in the shadows, black. So often we find that the movies are really taking this on and enhanced this, where in fact black, when we look at the color black through color therapy, it's extremely powerful. And often it relates to a personal state within that we sometimes is a secret place. Like, I know me, don't think you know me. Although you're not being difficult, you're saying here to yourself, I am power, I'm power. The opposite could be white. The white is often a color of like a fresh beginning. The black is often a sense of power. The blue color represents status, ambition, aims, what we want to be, how we take ourselves. When we're laughing, if you're laughing and enjoying yourself, Your Royal Highness, what color would you think of? You would just go like that now and think of a color. When you're laughing at a joke and a story, what color would it be?
Wow, thank you so much. You know, for me, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but for me, the colors are the evolution of the sound. The sound is the energy of the beginning. You know, for example, you have a thought. This thought has a sound. So the evolution of the sound is the color, and from the color we are going to the light. You know, this is what I believe.
Yes, I agree with that. And then when you're saying about white and black is black a negative color, black is a color, white is a color. It's when we talk about evolution of sound, often when we think about sound also resonates a frequency. Frequency is also color. Color resonates a frequency. When you walk into someone's house and they've got a certain color on the wall, it resonates that color. You immediately are attracted to it. Or you go, oh dear, I don't like this very much. Whichever way it is, or that way we see that. But we're now going to look at how we can look at this. And if this lady here with lovely colored hair just immediately attracts you to her hair, my goodness, green hair. For a fashion, it's fantastic. When we go into, now we're going to look a little bit of this, of hypnosis, when we go into using color and immediately start to use it, we go into a very light stage of hypnosis. Hypnosis is when, for instance, we're reading a book. Everything else is disfocused because you're so into the story, you are captivated by the book. Anything else could be going on around you, whatever it is, but we're captivated by the story in the book or the magazine, whatever it is we're reading. Meditation. When we're very, very relaxed, we're often in a light state of hypnosis and our minds become more relaxed and opened. Same with mindfulness, when we just follow the stories of our minds, the journey we've taken through the day, and what thoughts we had without judging them. That's interesting, that is. Mindfulness without judging. Drifting off to sleep. Often we have great epiphanies. Something you've got to do for the following day suddenly comes to light because we're going into light state of hypnosis and your subconscious wants to open your mind, to open you to thinking. Awakening, exactly the same. When you awake in the morning, certain things come to mind. You immediately awaken, become aware of certain things today or your mood immediately. And often we sometimes think when we wake up in the morning, what mood we're in. Is it going to be a good day or a difficult day? Well, one of the things that's amazing by this here is as soon as you wake and if you think, oh my goodness, today's going to be difficult, change it. And one of the ways we could do this is by just drawing in color. Now, here's a technique to use this. So say, for example, you're about to go and do something, you're about to go and do a talk, a presentation. Perhaps there's something that you want to get over to with people, and you want to be in the best frame of mind you could ever choose to be in. How are people going to really pick up from you exactly what it is that you want to put across? Your best way, your mannerism, your energy, your color, your sound, everything to be on par. And it's interesting, and when we're on par, that everything is equal. So when you're on par to other people, they immediately tune into what it is you're trying to say or put across. So if you were to just gently breathe in through your nose, just very gently, just for this moment in time, perhaps you could notice immediately you start to think about breathing in very slowly, automatically your body wants to just go, and relax. Your shoulders drop. Everything just wants to sort of let go. And especially if we're using sound through voices and we change the voice tone into something very relaxed. And as we think about relaxing, we just become very restful, relaxing, releasing, resting. And as you're just gently breathing in that lovely air through your nose, just imagine the most beautiful pocket of air just in front of your nose. And as you're breathing this in, it's breathing in the most beautiful calmness you've ever experienced. Beautiful calmness. And as it flows into your body, it's just sending a signal out to your body to deeply relax. Now, as you're breathing this in, perhaps there's something you want to achieve today. Perhaps there's something that's on your mind and maybe you want to be in the right frame of mind to be able to achieve whatever it is. Maybe there's people you're going to meet later and you want to feel that you are on par with them. One of the ways you may feel this is whatever it is you're going to do today, just associate a color with that. Frequency of a color. Maybe it's a blue, or a green, red. And as you're breathing in, I'd just like you to notice there, once you've chosen that color, that beautiful pocket of air you're breathing in is now changing to that color. It becomes a colorful air. And that colorful air, as you're breathing is in, really flows through your body and through your mind. And even as we breathe this in, just to visualize the air, not just going down to your lungs, but also flowing up into your mind. So as it goes into your mind, it goes to the parts of your mind that really need this color and absorb this and take on the beautiful energy. So that your mind is open to the suggestion of this color and automatically starts taking on this energy. And you'll notice if you're looking to do something really positive, really vibey, maybe you got to speak to lots of people, maybe it's something you just want to do this afternoon just to relax. Whatever it is, that color is working right now. That color is working through your mind, and it's also working through your body. As it works through your body, it's going into every single organ inside your body, that lovely air, that lovely, colorful air. To the point as it goes through your body and through your organs, it also goes through your muscles and through your bones. Every part of you is being saturated by that beautiful frequency of color that's enabling you today to do exactly what you want to do. It's also going to help you not just do this, but just imagine the surfer on the surfboard. He's waiting for the wave. And this beautiful color that you're experiencing now is building up to be a beautiful wave. Imagine how quickly you move across the beach when you're on a surfboard. And as the wave starts to break, you clamber up on the boards and there you are, you're skimming across the sea. How exciting it is as you speed across with the element and the energy of the wave, the beautiful color through your mind is helping you to shoot across the sea. Then notice the wave wasn't just behind you in focusing on one particular area of your life. It expanded across the whole beach. So one thing we notice here, we will work with color. Although you may be wanting to go and do a talk this afternoon or this evening or whatever it is, or tomorrow, there's probably other areas of your life that this color will just move into in your mind that your subconscious just helps to absorb. As we said, it always wants to look after you. It always wants you to make feel the best you can be. And this is the beautiful stage of working through the subconscious with color, is it changes the state and all of a sudden what seemed impossible becomes possible. So when we think about this and we think about how we can adapt and achieve things to the best of ourselves, it's beautiful to know that inside us, when we tune into the real core of us, we just need something sometimes. Sometimes it's a piece of music. It's a piece of music that we hear and immediately lifts our spirits. That's a frequency. The other part here too is being able to suddenly just change our lives because we can immediately connect and feel the color of our minds, color of our lives. And this is sometimes the most beautiful part. Thank you for joining us, Derek. And we're just talking about color therapy at the moment, how color can help us towards goal setting. So whatever your goal is, choose a color. Whatever, if it's a goal for ambition, for something positive, think of a vibing color that's going to drive you towards this. It's going to make you feel determined, make you feel positive. If it's something you need just to be calm, to talk to people, what color is that? Just breathe it in. And when you feel that color, it's amazing. It's beautiful what it does. I've worked with so many people. Yes, Your Royal Highness. Yes, I've got a hand there. Yes, please.
Yes, Dr. Phil, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Can we say that every color has its own role to play in what we want, for example? And let me express myself in another way.
Yes.
can we say that, for example, by nature, the red will give you the strength, the courage, and all that, and this specific character are with this specific color. So every color has its own role to play, or can we, or our mind just, for example, okay, let's say that I decided that the violet and will heal me.
Yeah.
Can we say that my mind can give the power to the color, or the color has the power by itself?
This is very interesting because red, for some people, they're scared of. They're scared of red. So this is really down to the individual, but you're right. I totally agree with you. If you feel that the color red is something for you to go and achieve, then that's amazing. That's something for you to be able to work with. I think as well here, it's working with people to understand that sometimes people want to achieve things in different ways. Rather than being too assertive, they want to be able to be continuous. They want to be very steady in their energy. So it's something that keeps them very focused to keep going without being too red, which could sometimes be anger for some people. It can be too quick in some respects. Very Mars-like energy, if we think of Mars in history. And it's interesting you say the color violet there. That's a beautiful color. And often we find here, especially with the color violet, is the people who understand us. Violet is in a sense here, is a very connected color to people. And we connect with people, you connect with people without other people really realizing that you're connected to everybody. Because what violet says to me when I hear you say that through your voice and your sound is that people feel, whether you're talking to one or to all of them, that they all have a special friendship with you. They feel like they're treated in a special way. So I think this is beautiful in its way. Would you understand that, Your Highness, if I said that to you? That people sometimes say to you, you could talk to everybody, you talk to one person. They all feel like they're being spoken to individually.
Yes, I love the violet. I use it all the time. And especially, for example, if I am sick, or if anyone is in depression, is not feeling good, or is very sick, very strange. By nature, I know, I don't know how I know, by nature, I know that this color will bring a change to the mind of the person, or even to my mind if I am sick. So I will wear violet, I will put violet color everywhere. And I did it several times. Why I'm asking you this question about the power of color? I will tell you a story that will make you laughing. That will make you laughing. One day I was wearing yellow color. And when I was wearing yellow color, one of my friends, an old friend, told me, "Don't wear the yellow." I said, "Why?" "Because your man will be unfaithful to you." I said, "What?" She said, "Yes, it is the color where, when you are wearing this color, the people are unfaithful to you, and especially your man or boyfriend or all that." And I was surprised because she was
Yes.
she was not the only person who was saying that. So a lot of people are scared, and especially married women or married men, they are scared to wear yellow because of that.
Well, that is quite funny, but actually, what I would like to say is that's a fear.
Yes, can we say that it is the fear of the person that attracts
Yes,
faithfulness, or the color?
absolutely. Yes, those people are scared in a sense. They could be a little bit over anxious or protective about coming out in their own individuality. They're scared to be themselves. What you're being, Your Highness, is your own individuality. You're being yourself. You're in your own power. And when you're in your own power, if you know yourself, this is poppycock, if you don't mind me saying the language, is that people are trying to say here, oh, if you wear that color, everybody's going to be unfaithful. Well, it doesn't matter what color you wear. If they're going to be unfaithful, they'll be unfaithful.
But you can wear the blue, the red.
You wear the blue, they're still going to be unfaithful. Oh. Yellow is a very vibrant, friendly color. It's often associated with Mercury. The planet Mercury is often associated with the communication that we have with one another. It bounces along the top. It's energizing. It's learning. It's a great color when we want to study. And it's a great color when we don't want to be too emotionally attached to people. We want to be engaging, funny, laughing, and not taking things too seriously. It's very upbeat. Sometimes we see children dressed in yellow, the vision of children dressed in yellow, bouncing along meadows and things like this and playing. That's yellow. There's nothing to do with being flirtatious. But I think if we've got...
And I will tell you, I love the yellow also.
Yeah.
The yellow is something that it's calling the light by itself, you know, the orange, yellow, they are calling the light, you know.
Yes, absolutely. And I think as well, when I see your beautiful dress there, part of it's yellow, there's part of it's red and part of it's green. So yellow is definitely there. So you're communicating to people.
Great.
That is in your thumbnail. I'm not saying what you're wearing now.
Yes,
You're probably thinking, I'm wearing blue. How did you know that? I'm wearing yellow. But anyway, yes. So that's one of the things here say. And also, just looking here with the color on the dress in your thumbnail, the red is energy. If it works with yellow, you're going to be very energetic, communicating with people. And the green is open to ideas. It's open to people. So the color you're wearing in that thumbnail is right.
Wow.
Wow. Right. 3 levels of consciousness. How we do it for time? I've got to stop in a minute, haven't I? I'll just quickly go through this and then I will come back to this next week. Is that okay, Your Highness?
Sure.
Sure. Good. There's this humor. I love your humor. It's brilliant. Right.
And I love
okay.
your positivity. You have such a way. You have such energy that is contagious.
Well, I think it works both ways. I'll pick it up from you. It's very funny. Right. Okay. The 3 levels of consciousness. We've got the gut, the heart, the mind. The gut, it will always tell you when you're feeling safe. It'll always remind you. It's your barometer that says here, by the way we choose things in our lives, what we're going to do, how the barometer feels. Sometimes we get a bit scared. Sometimes we feel, yes, can't wait. Sometimes just before we're going to get married, perhaps you get the butterflies. That's just lets you know. The heart will always make you feel good. It's always about that lovely feeling about being in our true selves, feeling, oh, if we could connect more with our heart, we would be in a brilliant place. And the mind is more about the logic, and the understanding, the knowledge we have and what we know. But often we don't look at all 3 as being together. For example, the gut sense is our well-being and our confidence in that sense. The mind knows what it knows. It doesn't know anything else. It only knows what it knows. And the colorful heart feels the world. Alignment of all three, we are becoming extraordinary. Color therapy consists in reaching this state. So when we are in a level with all three in alignment, we feel that well-being through our gut, our colorful heart, feeling the world and what we're feeling about ourselves, knowing what we know, and all three are in alignment, we are extraordinary. And this is what I'd like to continue with next time we're back, next Thursday, is to continue with this and just bring on more color therapy before we go into tapping, heart math, and another system here of the Morse code. I'll tell you more about that next time. But it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, to be colorful with you, to bring out your colors and to discover what your colorful world is. And maybe you will step out there now, ladies and gentlemen, and Your Highness and other beautiful people here, or those watching live or watching the replay. Maybe there's something here you're going to do, which will be not just wonderful, but colorful. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Dr. Phil,
Yes.
when I see this picture, before to let you go, I have, I'm sorry, I will give you a few minutes with us. When I see this
That's all right.
This picture that you posted, the mind, the heart, the gut. And this is very interesting because the color that are used for it, they have a big meaning. For example, the mind is also the communication and the first thought, a certain vibration. The heart in green, can, if we see around us, all the vegetables are green, and they are
Yes.
giving, and this is very beautiful because they are giving their oxygen, they are giving their unconditional love. Can we say that the green is the color of the true love, the unconditional love?
I love that. I love that. And actually, yes, I agree with you, because our world, we cannot breathe in our lives unless we have the trees and they're green. We cannot eat and stay healthy unless we eat the vegetables, which a majority are green. And it's interesting if you look into the Hindu Sanskrits and look into chakras, the chakra energy points through the body. The heart is green. It's
Yes.
not red. Yes.
And this is why I believe that the color of the unconditional love, I mean, in this world, in this material world, is not the red like everybody sees, but
Yes.
it is the green, because you see the vegetables are green, they are not blue, they are not yellow. There's a meaning to every color. And
Yes.
I believe that, and if you see your chakra, yes, and it's related to your breath, there's something amazing. And the gut,
That's lovely.
yes, and the gut, see, I love the picture because, it's like for me, because I know, and also in psychology and in transpersonal psychology, we're learning also about that. When every thought is bringing an emotion, and every emotion is bringing an action or a reaction. So see, the mind represents the thought, the heart represents the emotion, and the gut represents the reaction or the action. So the well-being. So when you have this positive thought, you have this positive emotion, and you feel immediately good. So you are going like in transformation.
Yes. Beautifully put.
Can we
Beautifully
say,
put.
do you think that I'm right, Dr. Phil?
Yes, I think you are. One of the things I feel here is your subconscious is if there's another one here, another color we could put, which is the mind, then goes into the subconscious, which would then follow the whole white screen in the background, and probably more would be how when we feel things through the world, We don't feel it through our mind or our heart straight away. We feel it through our gut. Hence, sometimes here is when we're around people who are positive, they lift us, and we often sit up straight. We often sit up well because our gut is absorbing this energy, and it makes us feel amazing because you're around someone who makes you feel good about yourself. And you'll feel vibey and positive, and it goes up into your heart, it's in your mind. And you think, what a lovely morning I had this morning talking with these amazing people. I spoke to Her Royal Highness, I spoke to Star Lady, I spoke to Derek, I spoke to Raj, and all these lovely people, amazing, and it was uplifting. And yet, if you are around negative people or people who are very draining, we often lean forwards and go down within ourselves and feel, why am I so exhausted? Why am I drained? Why am I in this state of feeling, I don't know what's wrong with me. It must be something I've eaten or something like this. No, it's the people. And sometimes what they've done is they've drawn out your energy because they know you're positive and fed it to them. But then it leaves you empty because they were not giving back. And so sometimes here, it's always good to be aware that when we're around positive people, there's this cycle that goes on. They're feeding you, you're feeding them. They're feeding you, you're feeding them. And the conversation just stays alive. It's amazing. The other part here is sometimes when you're around negative people, and this is what I learned in the prison service, is to protect your gut, to protect it. And often when we think about protecting it, what does that mean? I've got to wear like a brass shield over my gut to say here, bang, if whatever negativity there is going to bounce off. Maybe you've got to wear like violet colored lights that shine out that reflect the lights. No. When we know we are around difficult people, and to give you an example in just a moment, there's one thing we could do, and it's just a body language. And I'll show you, it's going to come back a little bit here. And that is, when we are around people who are negative, sometimes we do this with our arms. No, that's blocking the heart. That's blocking the heart. We don't want to do that. We can do is just put your arm across here. Just your arm across there. That's it. So sometimes we just go put what we're doing when we put our arm across our body and you're with negative people. And it could be just considered as a body language. It immediately blocks the gut. So those people can't take any more from you. And what do those people do? They walk away. It's true.
Wow. So I have just to make that, and the people will walk away.
Yes. Whether you are on the whether you're on the whether you are in front of them, whether you are on video to them, or whether you're on telephone to them.
Oh, wow. I will use that with toxic people.
Yes. Just do that with toxic people. Yes. And I've known many a situation. One of them was a lady who was going through a very, very bitter divorce, and her ex-husband or ex-husband-to-be, every time they met up, he would make her feel so small. He would ridicule her. He would make her feel terrible. And she would always come away in drools of tears and feeling so bad about herself. And I said here, this is because he is absorbing every bit of energy from you. She said, absolutely. I go in there thinking, right, we're trying to resolve something today. And it just wouldn't happen. He would just attack me verbally. So I gave her this method, here, and it was incredible. It was incredible. I asked her, I said, what happened? She said, I couldn't believe it. She said, I just put my arm across like that. And he immediately said to me, he said, why are you doing that? She said, doing what? Putting your arm across there like that. Why are you doing that? She said, yeah, because I'm just comfortable doing it. And he was like this, she said, he was like this, trying to find a way, didn't know what he was doing, but it's a subconscious thing. Didn't know what he was doing, but he couldn't get in to drain the energy out of her. So what happened is he just said, right, that's it, I'm going, and went. She said, oh my goodness, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. She get up, she walked out of there and laughed her head off. She said, I can't believe it. She says, when I put my arm across there, he could not carry on with the same manner he was using to try and bring me down. It's amazing.
Wow, magnifique.
People will ask you, why have you got your arm like that? When you're around the negative people, they will ask you because they want you to take this down. They want you to go back into 2 arms down, arms folded, one scratching here, one doing something else, whatever. Don't. Keep it there. Keep it there.
Wow. I will, Dr. Phil. I learned a lot from you today. Thank you very, very much. Let's see
you too.
if one of our people wants to ask something before to end this session. And
yes, for me, sir.
I say see you next week. Anyone wants to ask a question, please, or contribution or something?
There's no question. I just want to appreciate him. Oh, Mommy, thank you so much. Thank you, our teacher, for. I only learned a lot from it.
Oh, thank you very much, Star Lady. I love your name, Star Lady. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's fantastic.
Yes, she's amazing. Love her very much.
I can just imagine this star. She's probably got this T-shirt with a big star on it. I'm Star Lady.
Yes, and she is a star shining in the darkness. I'm telling you, she's shining in the middle.
Oh, wonderful. Well, lovely. No, I can tell by your laughter. You've got that energy.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. As everybody's come along today. Thank you, Chai Descent Lady. That's an interesting one. Chai Descent Lady. Okay.
Yes,
And Derek, and to Namika. Sorry, I'm not very good with foreign names. But thank you very much for coming in. Raj, thank you very much. Jordi. Your Highness, thank you very much, and have a wonderful day, and big heart to you and what you're doing.
And big hug to you for supporting me and supporting this wonderful mission to give a free education to the world. We love it very much, and we are learning a lot from you. You are just empowering the world, empowering the whole humanity, and I love that. I love what you are doing, and it's just amazing. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge, and thank you. Big hug.
Big heart and a big burger. Hearts, burgers.
Yes, and big burger.
Whatever it is, think every time you eat a burger, you'll be thinking of love. Every time you're thinking of love, you'll think of burgers. See?
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Us, and thanks to all the people who are watching us also online. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.